Today is about Jonathan Foster, a 12-year-old boy that has left a legacy amongst all Houstonians. And as we've seen throughout the past week, we've seen the best of humanity and certainly the worst of humanity as well. But today is Jonathan's day, and I think Jonathan has touched the lives of so many Houstonians and people all over the nation and the world. And we're going to remember Jonathan as he should be remembered. And that's where we're hoping that his legacy will be, that his death was not in vain. And it'll bring family members together for eternity and remember that why we are here on this earth and planet to help and support each other. And I'm going to turn it over to Jonathan's grandmother, and we'll proceed from there. This is a very difficult day for this family, as you can all imagine. The emotional toll for the past week has certainly rocked their world, and now they're thrust into the system that they never dreamed they'd have to endure as well.
You know, I had y'all ask me at different times, what was Jonathan like? At that time, I couldn't really tell you what he was like. But Jonathan taught me something very special. New meaning for the words unconditional love. Because he did. When he loved you, he loved you. He didn't care if you had to ground him because he didn't do his homework or, you know, whatever the case might be. That was just him. And he was raised by a lot of people in his life. They say it takes a village to raise a child. And it does. And Jonathan had a village of all different family members that were blood kin and a lot that weren't blood kin, which is extended family. Because Jonathan was raised that you don't have to be blood to be family. So he's got a lot of extended family. And he was also raised, you hear his last words were, "Yes, ma'am." He was raised to show manners because his mama said that's something that never go out of style. And he was also raised to believe that there's good and there's bad in all races. It don't matter what color you are, there's good and bad out there. And he was raised that way, and we believe that way.
Hi, I'm the uncle Glenn Scrimshire. Y'all have seen me.
Could you state your name, please?
Glenn Scrimshire.
Spell Scrimshire.
SCRIMSHER. Y'all have seen me in a lot of different press conferences. Y'all have had me on the telephone. Y'all have asked me questions. And yes, it was a little more difficult for me because I lived in Missouri. I had Jonathan from the age of 6 up until 11 when he left in November of '09. For me, I wasn't just the uncle. I was like his father. His first time out in the woods hunting was with me. His first fish he caught was with me. He loved to ride his bike. He loved to play basketball. He loved basketball. He had long fingers, perfect for basketball. That's what he loved. To go places, ride four-wheelers, just for me to give him the kind of childhood he had that I didn't. And for him to return the favor with all the love that he gave us. Always there with open arms, smiles, just happy. Never once wanting to hurt anybody, never once wanting to make anybody feel sad. He touched a lot of people's lives, not just here in Houston, like my mom said, all the way from here across the nation. You know, this isn't the only memorial service going on for him. There's more in Kansas by his yaya, by his family up there. There's people traveling from all over the United States to come here today because he did touch their lives. He was part of their lives. And that's how we're going to remember him, as part of our lives. And not just a small part, because he's influenced us in many different ways, how to treat people, how to look at people, and that your respect for your elders has not died. It can be carried out until the end, as he has shown us. I just hope that he will be remembered in the sense of not just the 12-year-old boy that was murdered and discarded like everyday garbage, but the energetic young man that he was.
Yeah, y'all were saying in the paper that this was Jonathan's. This wasn't Jonathan's. The night I had to go down to the station and talk with them and stuff, there was a Christmas tree there with a sign on it from a little girl that every child deserves to be hugged. And at that time, I needed something to hug and hold on to, so I picked this up, and it's a lemur, not a raccoon. And the reason I did is because the lemur, likes to move it. Well, Jonathan liked to move it, because he was just full of energy and just love.
Now, as you can see, Jonathan's life has touched the lives of so many on a positive note. I mean, you had teachers that he'd only known for less than a month that were here, attending a candlelight vigil. Everybody he came in contact with loved and enjoyed being around him. And that's what we have to go on, this hope and sea of humanity that has been an outpouring of love for Jonathan and his family.
Mary, as you see it now, what do you see his life leaving behind for all of us? How do you feel his life and the way that he lived his life will influence others?
I hope that they will learn like he did, to try to look at the inside of a person instead of just the outside, and discover who they really are before you judge them, because he did that. That was his unconditional love that he had.